Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. Today is an extra surprise video for y'all, and I have 4 thrift flip makeovers, fall inspired wall decor. Y'all let me know which project is your favorite, and we're going to get started right now. For our first project today, this is a pretty simple one. We're starting off with this thrifted oval frame. I believe it was 59¢. We're going to work on disassembling it, getting everything taken apart. I'm going to get rid of the glass and get rid of the artwork that was in the frame, and we're just going to keep that firm, thick backing. So I'm going to break into this alchemy paint. This is the color, I don't know the name of it, but either way, it's just a black chalk paint. And I'm going to give this backing piece 2 coats, and then I'm going to give our oval frame just one nice thick coat, making sure I'm painting those sides. And I'm actually going to end it with some pouncing to give that frame a little bit of texture, because this is actually going to be our base layer for our next step. So here is how we're looking so far, and I'm going to grab this quick Dollar Tree tool, and y'all look at them dirty hands. They are awful. And I have this pretty cheap drywall compound. It is very, very lightweight compound. You can use like the pink stuff that dries white, like wood filler, whatever. You can use caulk. You can use tons of different things for this technique. But what I'm essentially doing is just creating 3D artwork on our back panel. And this compound is giving me a little bit of a hard time, so I figured out the best way to apply it is pressing it onto that back piece, not spreading it. You could probably spread it with other products, but since this one was so lightweight, it just wanted to take it off instead of moving around. So I'm pretty sure you can see what I'm creating. I'm going for a little 3D ghost shape, and I'm just using that tool to clean up that bottom edge and to give it a little bit of definition by bringing that tool up the ghost to make it look like it has some grooves in it. I'm going to take my finger and just press everything into place, and you can see how thick I got it right there, and we're going to set that to the side and let it dry. So now jumping back to our oval frame, I grabbed out some rub and buff. I believe this is European gold maybe. And I'm going to take a artist brush and do a heavy dry brush all over this black oval frame. I'm going to leave some of that black peeking through because I just love the way that looks. I'm going to go over all the details, bringing out the gorgeous details to the frame, and I'm going to get the sides as well. This year, I have been leaning more towards the spooky Halloween decorations. I have always been a true fall, pumpkins, orange kind of fall gal, but the spooky decorations have really got my heart this year. What kind of fall decor is y'all's jam this season? Y'all let me know down in the comments. So now jumping back to our artwork, I'm going to take that black chalk paint and just clean up around our edges. And this will just, like I said, clean it up some. And we're going to let that dry again. And then I have this all-in-one white fusion paint. Just a white paint. I chose all-in-one so it would be simpler. And y'all have heard me say this before. I'm working my way through some dried up paint. I've got to get better about making sure the lids are attached well. So I'm just going to scoop some out, water it down so I can actually use it and spread it. And I want to take a small artist brush and paint the top of our ghost. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of shadowing. I'm just going to scoop out some of that same paint we used to paint the ghost and scoop a little tiny bit of that black paint out, water it down, mix it together well, and then just drag it through those grooves we created. And then I'll jump back to my white paint and blend it out just a bit. And I think this truly made a big difference adding that shadowing like that. So the only thing left to do is add our spooky eyes, and I'm going to use the back of my paintbrush to do that. I apologize for that background noise. Roscoe was chowing down on his food. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this simple project. I priced it for $14.95. Our next flip today is this gorgeous rustic raw wood frame that I got for free. Got it for free at an estate sale last weekend. I was all giddy when he said, "Oh, you can have that thing." I said, "Yes, please." So it did not come with a panel in it. So I've got a piece of 1/4-inch plywood on my work surface, and I'm just taking measurements and then transferring those measurements to this piece of plywood. Going to use a straight edge to draw out the lines, and then I will take my circle saw and cut this piece out. Now I'm going to test fit it, make sure it fits into my frame well before we carry on with the project, and it does. So now I'm going to just sand those rough edges. Most of the time cutting 1/4-inch plywood, you're going to have some splinters along the edge. Then I'm going to dust the piece off and give the front of it just one nice thick layer of an all-in-one white paint. Once that paint was dry, we're going to take barn wood plank IOD stamp and our black permanent IOD ink, and we're just going to add some wood grain to this back panel. And I'm going to mix up the different stamps just so it looks like it's kind of like palette wood. That's the vibe it's going to give. And I love using this particular one right here because of the lines on the edge. I make sure those lines are separating all of my planks because all of the stamps don't come with lines like that. So I'm just going to let you watch this part. I'm just tickling the back of the stamp. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. It's fine if it isn't, very pronounced in some areas. We just want a little bit of detail to show what we're going to be putting on this piece. And here is how we're looking. I do not need to seal over this. We used an all-in-one paint and the ink is permanent. So I'm ready to put my backing piece into my frame using one of my most used tools, that framing gun from Amazon. If y'all are interested, my Amazon store is down in the comments. I'm sorry, down in the description box, blah. So I was kind of hung between using this one and the previous wreath. I thrifted both of these for around $3 a piece. And when I had this project in mind, I thought about using not this one, but the other one I showed. But once I sat this one on top of our frame and everything, I just felt like it matched with the rustic vibe better. So this is the one we went with. I'm just attaching it with some jute string, feeding it through the wreath, and stapling it to the back. I added a hanging hardware, and that is it for this project. I absolutely love how simple this project was, but it is an awesome fall statement piece that you can change out the wreaths, different seasons. I love how this one came out. I priced it for $69. Our next project, I'm going to pretty much fly through it. Y'all have seen me make over so many of these Temu prints, and I don't want it to get old, but I still wanted to show you the project. So here's a Temu print. It was about $2, and I've cut a piece of 1/4 inch plywood to fit inside of a frame. I'm using Mod Podge. There you go. I said it correctly for y'all. To get the canvas stuck onto that plywood, I did apply the Mod Podge on top of the canvas too. And here is the frame we're going to put it in. I'm going to give it 2 coats of this Alchemy black chalk paint. And then we're going to put that dried canvas print into our frame, get it fastened in, and then I added a backing piece to this with a piece of contractor's paper and hanging hardware. I sealed the black chalk paint with a Fusion's agent wax, and like I said, I have been drawn to the spookiness this year. I priced this piece for $42 and it sold the very same day I put it in my booth. What do y'all think about this one? Our next project is a set of 3. These oval frames I picked up from Salvation Army for 59 cents a piece. They did not have backings, so I took my jigsaw and cut out these 1/4 inch pieces of plywood. They are not pretty, but they work. Sanded around those edges. And now I'm going to give all 3 of our little oval cutouts 2 coats of Alchemy white oak chalk paint. Next, I want to take the ephemeral type IOD stamp and my black permanent IOD ink, and we're going to give these oval cutouts a backing design. I'm going to ink up different parts of the stamp, so each one is going to have the same stamp on them, just different sections. I'm inking that stamp up, making sure I get any excess rogue ink off of the stamp before flipping it over and pressing it to the surface. I'm going to hold with one hand and press with the other and then pick straight up. Make sure you clean your stamps immediately. These things are not cheap and we want them to last a lifetime. I forgot to record this part, but I gave these a quick coat of brown paint, and now we're coming in with amber alchemy paint. This is the true definition of fall, if you ask me. I love this marigold mustard color. So I'm going to give all 3 oval frames 2 layers of this amber chalk paint. Now we're going to jump back to our artwork panels. I have the 2-component fine line Crackle varnish here. I order mine from Ellen J. Good's website. I'll have it linked down in the description box. And I'm taking component 1 and I'm going to do a pretty thick layer in a crosshatch motion over all 3 center panels. Then I'm going to set it to the side and let it dry for about an hour or two. When I came back to this project, it still had a little bit of tack to it. I had a sweet viewer of mine reach out to me recently, and she said her component 1 was not drying, meaning it was still tacky 2 weeks later. If y'all know what could have caused that for her, please leave it down in the comments. I feel like she watches all of my videos, so she's going to know who she is. Check down in the comments for some tips, hopefully. So after that component 1 had sat up and dried, I went back over with the same process using a different artist brush and applied component 2. I distressed my frames, and here is how our center panels are looking. You can see that gorgeous crackle. Super glossy though, but it's part of it. I'm going to add our center panels into our oval frames using this nifty tool right here. And then now we're going to start adding something to these. I have had these dried florals in my stash for a couple of years, so I wanted to get them used up, and I thought this rust color matched so well with that amber chalk paint. So I just kind of pinched off a little piece. I want to trim it down, gather it with a little bit of jute twine, using hot glue to hold that twine together. And at first, I used hot glue to attach the jute twine to the center of the artwork, but that did not hold, I think, because of the glossy finish. So I had to end up coming back with super glue, and that held perfectly. Now I'm coming back in to bring out all the gorgeous crackle we created, and I'm going to use my Fusion Agent Wax. I had to do it in this step because, of course, glue isn't going to stick to wax. So I'm just being careful and just working around my flowers. I'm going to use a small paper towel and wipe off any excess, and then I'm going to wax the frame and seal that chalk paint in. I repeated this process on the other 2 frames. I added or cleaned up the back, added a piece of contractor's paper and a hanging hardware system, and that's it for these projects. Y'all, I love, love, love these. This is probably my favorite project in today's video. Y'all let me know what y'all think about them. I haven't priced them yet, but I'm thinking maybe $16 a piece. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that price, and y'all let me know what y'all think about this project. That is all I have for y'all today, my friends. I really hope y'all enjoyed this extra video. Y'all be sure to let me know which project is your favorite down in the comments. And if you got any inspiration from today's video, be sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you have not already. We have some new goodies coming soon to the website. My website is always linked down in the description box. We have the Sweet Pickins Milk Paint line coming soon and the new IOD holiday release coming soon. I cannot wait to get my hands on both of these amazing products. I'll talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.